In relationships, we often experience betrayal, sometimes disillusionment, or, we think something is one way, but it's actually another way. And, I, as a sex therapist, relational therapist, I see a lot of people in my office when these things happen. Betrayal happens. And I also love to look at astrology because the planets can actually give you information as to when some of these things might happen. And it's insanely accurate, right? Like, astrology is not a science. Astrology is also not an art. It's pattern synthesis. Basically, what that means is we're looking at the planets in the sky. We're noting what's happening in our lives when certain planets are in certain positions. And we're just noticing the synthesis, the synastry, the patterns, right? It's just pattern synthesis. And we're just noticing, we're observing, and we're making connections. And one planet that I want to talk about today, because Venus is the planet that's commonly associated with love, beauty, romance, relationships. The other one that can play a big role is Neptune. And we don't talk about Neptune as much. Neptunian energy is very dreamy, right? It's very Piscean. It can be musical, creative, artistic. It's got all of these very poetic kind of themes, right? The flip side of Neptune, however, is seeing love through rose-colored glasses, not seeing the red flags. Or maybe seeing the red flags and ignoring them because we're so in love. We're experiencing so much NRE. And I think that's beautiful and can be beautiful for a really long time for a lot of people. But if you're experiencing betrayal and it's a theme, I would look and see where Neptune is in your chart, number one. And one way to do that is to notice its relation to your 7th house. So, what is your 7th house ruler? Can be one way to look at it. For example, if the ruler of your 7th house is Pisces, you can say that it has some Neptunian energy in it. Although Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter. It just kind of depends on which astrology you follow. For instance, if you're into modern astrology, you're probably looking at Neptune as Pisces rulers, but the traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. So I use Jupiter for mine because I do actually personally have Pisces in the 7th house as a Virgo rising. Then you would also want to see where Neptune is placed in your chart. If Neptune is placed in the actual 7th house, then it's going to directly impact your relationships. This can be really good for relationships, but it can also lead to a lot of betrayal and illusions, disillusions, things like that. I lived on a Venus-Neptune parent line for many years, and I fell in and out of love so many times. I was in constant relationships, but I also experienced quite a bit of betrayal, just a lot of interesting in and outs in relationships. And, I think it's really interesting. And the other thing to notice is the transit. If Neptune is transiting over your 7th house, for example, let's say you have your 7th house in Aries and Neptune is currently transiting through Aries, you might experience Neptunian themes in your relationships. And you can check out transits, you can check out your chart. All of those can be easily accessed by going to any astrology website. A popular one is astro.com. Just type in your birth date and your birth time and your birthplace, and you'll get your rising sign and your chart, and you'll get to see where all of these planets reside.